took was one night. Two people who could barely stand each other suddenly couldn't resist being drawn together. Before they truly knew one another, they were already legally married. Lisa worked at a bar as both a singer and a server. Jack was a young, strong, active-duty Marine. During their leave, he and his fellow Marines came to the bar. Lisa immediately recognized an old childhood friend she hadn't seen in years. His name was John, and he was also a Marine. At that moment, one of the other Marines arrogantly assumed that risking his life for the country meant he deserved special treatment. Feeling entitled, he began flirting with Lisa in an inappropriate way. Humiliated, Lisa's face darkened instantly. Jack stepped forward to apologize for what his teammate had said, but Lisa refused to accept his apology. Jack tried to explain that he wasn't like the others. Lisa replied that he probably wasn't any better. Lisa's prejudice and Jack's awkwardness with words caused their first conversation to end badly. Lisa hurried back to her car and gave herself an injection. It turned out she had diabetes. She went to the pharmacy to refill her medication, but she was told that her insurance hadn't been renewed in time. Because of that, the cost wouldn't be covered. That meant Lisa had to pay for the insulin out of her own pocket. Already struggling financially, Lisa had even fallen behind on her rent. Her mother suggested that she move back home, but Lisa insisted on handling everything by herself. She didn't want to become a burden to her mom. Instead, she comforted her mother. She said she had her own path to follow, even though she knew that road would be full of hardships. The symptoms from running low on medication soon appeared. While performing on stage, Lisa suddenly felt the room spinning. She forced herself to endure the discomfort. She hid in a dark corner. There, she injected the tiny amount of insulin she had left. Looking at the now empty medication container, she had no idea how she would keep going. When she looked up, she noticed the Marine Corps emblem. If she could marry a service member, she would qualify for free medical care. She went to John's house, but the person who opened the door was Jack. It was their second meeting. Lisa still showed Jack nothing but a cold attitude. Without any small talk, Lisa bluntly asked John to marry her. John was completely stunned. Lisa honestly explained the situation she was in. As long as she married a soldier, she would qualify for free healthcare as a military spouse. On top of that, she would also receive various benefits and allowances. Jack overheard her entire plan. He interrupted their conversation. He told them it wasn't that simple. If the marriage were discovered to be fake, it would be considered fraud, and they could end up in a military court. John refused Lisa's proposal. He admitted that he already had a girlfriend. In fact, he planned to propose to her after returning from deployment. With no other choice, Lisa left in disappointment. One day, Jack was suddenly chased down by an old acquaintance driving a car. The small-time thug mocked how Jack had gone from a troubled kid to a Marine. Then he demanded that Jack repay the money he owed. Jack went to his brother's auto repair shop. He hoped his brother could help him financially, but his brother had an entire family to support. He simply couldn't help. Jack took the paycheck he had just received from the military and gave it to the thug, but it was nowhere near enough to cover the debt. That's when Jack suddenly thought of Lisa, who was also trapped in a difficult situation. Their third meeting was to discuss a fake marriage. As a Marine, if Jack got married, Lisa, his spouse, would qualify for free healthcare. At the same time, they could split several $1,000s in monthly military benefits. Jack warned Lisa that from this point on, they both had to be extremely careful with their words and actions. And in front of their friends and family, they would have to act deeply in love.